Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Miraculous Christmas specials. Now, obviously, there are two Christmas specials, with Season 3 having Christmeister, which was just inserted into the episode because they never actually were able to release it on Christmas, and the Season 2 episode, Santa Claus, which is not actually put into the collection for Season 2, but it is actually in Season 2. Santa Claus is kind of a weird episode, and chronologically it is at the end of Season 2. They've actually posted this on the website or on the wiki, and a few other things like that. But the important thing to ask is, how do we know? How do we, as an audience, know that this is at the end of Season 2? Well, quite simply, it's something that was a spoiler, but we didn't realize it was a spoiler until later. Now, an important thing to know is that Chloe never asked people if they want photos or autographs or anything before she gained her Miraculous, which is an odd thing for her to say in Santa Claus. At the beginning of Santa Claus, when she comes in to get some treats from the Dupan Chang Bakery, she asks, when Marinette is singing the song and then she stops on Chloe, she says, "What, do you want a photo?" Which is an odd thing to say under normal circumstances. And since at the time we did not know that Chloe was Queen Bee, and we didn't know exactly how they were going to do that, it seemed like an odd statement, and no one understood why, and no one really talked about it, because it's just it seems like something that she would do because she's full of herself. But because of the fact that she actually says this line, we can actually pinpoint exactly when this episode is taking place. Honestly, it is taking place after the season finale, which is a huge fight that does very much so involve Queen Bee. She is a hero in this episode. While she is considered a hero in Maledictator, she's still not, full of herself. But if you look in Season 3, you can actually see how much more she's full of herself in this episode in these episodes in comparison to in between Maledictator and the season finale. While she is obviously like, "Ladybug, come give me my Miraculous," it's to a much lesser extent than she was in during Season 3, where literally every time that there was a supervillain, she was like, "Hey, Ladybug, bring me my Miraculous," which is an important thing to realize. Which means that this is post at season finale. Which honestly really shocks me that they actually put that in before we even knew that she was going to be getting the Miraculous. So surprisingly, there are still spoilers, really early on in Miraculous. The first episode that we see of Season 2, which is Santa Claus, is, in essence, a bit of a spoiler for the entire season of Season 2. The season of the Chloe arc, where even though she is getting better, she's also getting worse because of the fact that she becomes a brat again throughout Season 3, which, there we go. That is our full explanation for it. Obviously, I would like to talk more about this whole episode, but honestly, there's not much else that we can talk about it. Nothing else has really come to light since the episode aired. Most things in that episode were not spoilers. Literally, the only thing is Chloe saying, being a brat and saying, "What, you want a photo?" And that's it. Nothing else. There's no spoilers for season 2. There's no information that could have led us to season 3. The only thing is that this is Adrian's first Christmas without his mother, which is actually more laid out in every single episode. Specifically at the end of near the end of this season 3, where Felix, they actually explain that it has been officially 1 year since Adrian's mom disappeared. Which, like I said, that's a huge deal. So definitely a lot of things to think about. And with that being said, we now have more concrete evidence that we really should look at. Specifically, Thomas Ostruck said in the episode Anna Maestro. He said that he's been working on this thing for 3 years. Which is actually a completely reasonable amount of time for a full-length movie that is animated. Honestly, I would say that it should even require more time, but if he has good animators and a good amount of team, then yes, 3 years seems actually pretty small in comparison. So the question is, why is there a movie about Ladybug and Cat Noir before their first year has even made it halfway? Believe it or not, this episode actually takes place most likely either January or February. I'm going to say that it's February due to the fact that that a lot of the macaroons are, heart-shaped. It's not actually that, but there is some semblance of it. It's not necessarily the perfect thing, but there is some bit of just, this seems like it's February. So I want to say right now that episode actually takes place in February, which does mean that we have something important to think about. How could he get the movie done from the moment that Ladybug and Cat Noir show up and complete it before that time is up? Within half a year. Because honestly, the animation itself would take longer than that. Taking all of the voice actors, which is another thing. They could not have selected any of the voice actors, which that by itself could take a full year just to do. Obviously, it's going to be less depending on what you're doing, but for a movie-length project, it could take a pretty long amount of time just to get the voice work done. I would say maybe about, at minimum, 3 months, at minimum, with, maybe 3 voice actors. And there's obviously going to be more than that. But there's nothing. So what exactly is going on? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see exactly what they decide to do. They might actually explain that episode in the future, but it is an important thing to realize. We'll talk about it more in the future when it's not actually dealing with Christmas stuff. But hopefully you guys understood how much this Christmas episode actually means. And maybe eventually we'll talk about Christmeister, but there really wasn't that much connection with Christmeister to the rest of the episodes. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what they decide to do. But anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of that episode, and also let me know your theories down in the comments below. Make sure to use the hashtag theory review so that it shows up in tomorrow's theory review video. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on.